You were visiting the countryside on a beautiful afternoon. You meet a farmer who tells you that he has lost a needle in a haystack. He challenges you if you can find it for him. This is not a riddle. We're going to learn something useful here. Pause the video, take a couple of minutes, and try to come up a solution for this problem. Write it in the comments below before moving on with the video. I have actually asked this question to many students before and I've heard some interesting answers and solutions. Some say, let's split the haystack into small piles and search manually. Because as you know, manual searching, though it is time-consuming, but it's the most accurate. Some suggested to use a magnet to attract the needle while others proposed to use a metal detector, at least to narrow down the area where they should search. Even one student suggested to immerse the hay in water. The hay will float while the needle will sink. Ready to hear the answer? I don't have an answer actually. I have a scientific method to find the answer. Because when solving a problem, you don't throw a wild guess like my students used to do and assume it is the solution. You propose solutions, weigh options, and take a calculated decision. This is the problem-solving process. If you follow this process with all your problems, you will end up always with the most efficient and suitable solution. Let's now explore this process. First, always examine your problem. Search for the root cause of the problem. Define it properly and understand what's causing the problem. If you fail to follow this step, you might end up curing the symptoms of the underlying disease, not the disease itself. Understanding the root cause of the problem is an extremely important practice, as I said. There are plenty of methods. I will discuss one of them. The 5 whys method. It is a method that uses a consecutive set of questions to drill down deeply into the layers of the problem. The idea here is that the answer to the first why is the basis of the question of the second why. It's a simple tool, but it's very useful for problems, especially situational problems like our case here. Why do you want to find the needle in the haystack? Because I need the needle. Now let's ask a deeper question. Why do you need the needle? Because I want to stitch my pants. In this case, 2 levels of questions were enough to understand that the real problem here is not finding the needle in the hay, but the need for a needle. Now that the problem is clear, generate solutions. There are many techniques you can use to generate solutions of ideas. The most common one is brainstorming, individually or in a group. You can also ask for expert advice. This is extremely important when the problem is highly technical. Another technique that is commonly used is benchmarking. It is when you check how other people having the same situation solved the problem. This technique is very common in business. The most important thing to remember at this step is not to evaluate or select any solution. Think of all the possible ways to solve the problem. Generate as much ideas as you can at this stage. Focus on the quantity of ideas, not their quality. Don't settle for the first solution you come up with, even if it sounded simple or easy. So, our friend the farmer wants a needle? Get him a new needle. Or burn the hay and searching will be easier. Or split the haystack into small piles and search manually. Now comes the fun part. To evaluate and score each option. First, you need to determine what are the criteria upon which you will evaluate your options. Imagine that each criteria is like a school subject, and each solution is a student. Each student will be tested in different subject, and at the end, you will have an average for each student. The higher the average, the better is the solution. Finally, now that you know what to do, go on and implement the solution you have selected. But keep an eye on the results. Is the solution solving the problem? If no, check why. You might need to repeat the whole process and come up with a new solution. The next time someone asks you to find a needle in a haystack, just tell him, go buy a new one.